What's going on, garden nerds? It is hot. Yes, it is hot here in the Phoenix area in zone 9B today on July 9th, I believe it is, a forecast of 118 degrees. Yes, 118 degrees. And here exactly in the spot where I'm standing, look at that. Look at the bottom number, 21 degrees. 121 degrees right here where I am standing. So guys, I always talk about the heat island effect. I always talk about not putting things in our yards and in our neighborhoods that are going to increase that heat island effect and make things even hotter. Things like concrete, things like asphalt, things like granite rock, things like artificial turf. Those things heat everything up during the day, and then they continue to heat things up during the night. So today, I'm going to do an experiment. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm gonna walk around with my temperature gun and take the temperature of all of these different types of surfaces. Then I'm going to compare them to the good things that we should be putting in our yard, things like living plants, like grass and other ground covers, things like shade, like this bamboo behind me, underneath the mulch, see what that looks like. And I'm gonna let the temperature speak for itself. So I wanna do this experiment, come along with me and let's see what happens. Oh, and then by the way, after I do all this during the day, at nighttime, I'm gonna go around and retake the temperature of all of these things so that we can see things like asphalt, artificial turf, concrete, our hot block walls. Those things are still radiating heat during the night. We're gonna see how hot they actually are. So come along with me. Let's do this experiment with our temperature gun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, so our first experiment is right here on my pool deck. You can see I have my temperature gun here, and I am going to take this right where the sun is shining. We're gonna see what the temperature comes back at. 145 degrees. That temperature is 145 degrees right here. No wonder I am sweating profusely. Let's move right over here to this block wall. Now this block wall doesn't have any direct sunlight on it. So let's see what happens. Let's see how much heat this is holding on to. And we are looking at 124 degrees. That's hot. Now let's walk over here. This block wall does have direct sun on it. Let's see if it's hotter than 124 degrees. 125, so not much of a difference, even though the sun is shining directly on it. Let's come right here. There is direct sun right here on this mulch. You can see I have living mulch right here, or living ground cover. But let's just get the top of this mulch and see what it comes back at. 150 degrees, now 146 degrees. Holy moly, that's hot. Okay, now let's get in here. Let's pull all of this back. Here's some tomatoes and stuff, or not tomatoes, but potatoes. Let's dig this back, and now let's get right in here, and 100 degrees. That's a huge difference just by digging back a few inches of mulch. Huge difference from on top of the mulch to under the mulch. If that doesn't tell you you need to be mulching, I don't know what does. Okay, so now I'm under the shade of this mulberry tree, and I have my grass here. Let's see what we come back at. 106 degrees. Under the shade and on the grass, 106 degrees. Let's walk just a few feet over here. Now there's no more shade, still in the grass. Under the shade was 106. In the sun, we are looking at 115 degrees. So that's a 9-degree temperature swing simply by moving from out of the shade into the sun. Okay, so now we are here. Here's my bamboo, and here's a raised garden bed with lots of mulch. So this is mulch in the shade. We did mulch in the sun. Now let's do mulch in the shade. So let me come right here, turn this bad boy back on and measure that, 104 degrees. Okay, now let's get in here, dig this back. Oh, already nice and cool. And let's get right in there and see 92 degrees. That is 92 degrees on a day where when I was standing out there, how hot was it? 121 degrees under this mulch in the shade from the bamboo. 92 degrees. That is a huge. All right, guys, so now I'm at one of my favorite places at A&P Nursery, and I am standing under their shade cloth, which helps, and all these plants. So I'm gonna take some temperatures here and see what that does. Okay, so you can see here, this is just gravel. Let's see what it's at under the shade, 122 degrees. Now let me put it right into some plants because plants are emitting a little bit of moisture. Let's see, 114. So that's a big difference, 122 to 114 and 110 on those leaves. So now let me walk out here with the same gravel where I'm no longer going to be under the shade cloth. And let's see. Let's take it right here in the shade cloth. 117. And now let's walk a few feet where the sun is directly hitting it. And 134. So what is that, 17-degree difference just from being under the shade cloth. So that's a huge difference if you're using shade cloth in your yard. Okay, so now I'm here where an HOA decided that these bushes with no mulch and just this rock and bare soil is a good thing. Let's see how hot it is here. All right, let's bring this out and hit that there. 153 degrees, 153 degrees right there. And just for fun, let's get this block wall again. That's getting the sun just beat down on it. Let's see. Now we're at 150 degrees. That's interesting. So this block wall is not as hot as right here. 154 degrees. Very hot. All right, guys, so I'm in my car. Can you hear that AC just blasting because it's so hot? And I am by my neighbor's house who has artificial turf. So I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna measure that temperature, and then their neighbor has a ton of granite rock. They used to have grass and a huge tree, but now they just have granite rock in desert landscape. So I'm gonna measure the temperature of the rocks as well. So let's go. Hopefully I don't upset them, but I'm gonna go fast so they don't see me. Let's go measure it. All right, so here we go. We are coming up here to this artificial turf. And let's see if I step right here, get a read on it. 151 degrees. 151 degrees on this turf. That's insane. Now let's walk over here to this granite rock, which is not desert landscape. I've never been anywhere in the desert where this granite rock is piled 6 inches high. But let's see what this is. Come here and 143 degrees. 143 degrees, this granite rock. Very, very hot. Okay, so now I am back in front of my house. I'm gonna measure the asphalt, and then I'm gonna jump over here to the concrete, and then I'm gonna jump over here to actual grass. All in the sun, have all been being beat down by the sun all day long. So let's see. The asphalt, 155 degrees, 155 degrees. That's about what the turf was, I believe. Crazy that turf is as hot as asphalt. Let's come over here to the concrete, 143 degrees. So it drops a little bit as we get to the concrete. And now 143 degrees over here to the grass, 110 degrees. So from here, 110 degrees, jump 10 feet over here to the asphalt, 156 degrees. That's a difference of 46 degrees, guys, just from going to the asphalt to the grass. That shows you the effect that living things, green things, can have on our temperature. What's going on, guys? Okay, so now it is later tonight. It is almost 10 o'clock at night. I have this, not sure if you can see that, but it's actually cooled down decently, faster than I thought. So it's 92 degrees outside now at 10 o'clock at night. I'm gonna go back through and measure the temperature of everywhere that I measured earlier today, except for A&P Nursery, because obviously they are closed. So let's go through, and the purpose of this is to show you what things hold on to that heat. They absorb it all during the day and then they release it slowly at night. Those are bad things. Those are things that contribute to the heat island effect. So it gets super hot during the day, and then at night, it continues to release that heat, so it stays hot at night instead of cooling down. That is not good for plants. Plants, especially here where it gets super hot during the day, need a time period where they can cool down. If that doesn't happen during the night, then they're going to struggle. They need a chance to just rest and refresh. So those things that hold on to that heat, and we're gonna find out which things do, we need to start getting rid of or not adding so much of it. So let's get out the temperature gun and let's see. So here I am back on my pool deck. Let's see at 10 o'clock at night how hot this pool deck still is. Right here, 104 degrees still at 10 o'clock at night. The sun has not shined on this for quite some time. Now let's come here to the brick wall and hit it, 102. So it's actually a little bit cooler. Interesting. Okay, let's walk here. Now we're under my mulberry tree. Let's just get this block wall just to see and hit it, 104. Get a little bit over here and see, 101. Interesting. So it kind of depends on the spot. This spot right here got sun longer than over there, so it's still retaining that heat. All right, so let's come down here on top of the mulch. 91 degrees, and now let's dig down in here. Sorry, I know it's dark, so you can't see very well. Okay, so I pulled that mulch back. Now let's get in here and see, 88 degrees. So now only a difference of 3 degrees. During the day, it was a big difference. Now, not so much. Let's come here in my grass. And we are at 86 degrees. All interesting stuff. So we know, obviously, that concrete and those block walls hold on to moisture. Let's come here now into my raised garden bed, and I'll hit it here. Let's see, 90 degrees. You can't see very well, but I'm pulling back all the mulch. Let me get this right in there. And we are looking at 88 degrees. So not a huge difference, guys, when it comes to mulch and under the mulch at nighttime, but obviously still a huge difference when it comes to the pool deck. That holds on to a lot of heat. All right, let's go and look at the other things. Okay, so here I am back where I mentioned the HOA decided it was good to just throw down some gravel and keep the dirt bare. Let's see now, it was super hot, hotter than I thought earlier today. Let's see where we're at tonight, about 10 o'clock at night. 99 degrees. So it's cooled down a decent amount, 99 degrees. And let's just get this block wall because we got it earlier, 105 degrees. So the block wall is retaining much more heat than even this gravel and bare soil. All right, so we're back here to measure the turf at my neighbor's yard. What creep is out here at 10 o'clock at night? Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna step right in here. Let's see, 95 degrees. So 95 degrees still at night. Still super hot, but cooled down much more than I would have thought. So it's not retaining so much heat. Even though it was hotter than concrete, almost as hot as asphalt, it's cooled down quite a bit. So that's actually good. All right, let's see right here. the granite rock, 96 degrees. 96, so it's not retaining as much heat either as the concrete and the block walls. Okay, and now to finish it off, I'm here in my front yard. We have the grass, we have the concrete, we have the asphalt. I'm guessing the asphalt is still going to be very, very hot. Let's see. We know it was super hot earlier today. 109 degrees. So again, the turf was almost as hot as the asphalt, but now it has cooled down substantially more than the asphalt. Interesting, but not too surprising. Concrete, 105, so still very, very hot. Has kept up with the asphalt. It's retaining that heat, and you can tell when you're standing on it, it's hot. I can even tell when I walk here onto the asphalt, I can feel that heat. It's just radiating into the night and keeping our temperatures very, very hot. All right, so now let's come here to the grass. And we are at 86 degrees. This real grass, 86 degrees. You can feel it as soon as I walk onto it. It feels so much cooler. 86 degrees here. Come not even 10 feet here. 110. Holy moly, that is a huge difference. Imagine if we had more grass. Imagine if we just had more ground cover, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be grass. I know there's a bunch of grass haters out there, but imagine if we had 86 degrees at 10 o'clock at night instead of 110 degrees, radiating, creating that heat island effect and keeping our overnight temperatures very, very high. We have to stop laying down so much concrete, so much asphalt, artificial turf, all of that, and we have to lay down living, breathing things because it will cool our environment, it will cool our temperature. So I hope this was cool. I hope it was informational. I hope it was eye-opening. None of this is rocket science, right? None of this is new to us. None of this is like super eye-opening. We know asphalt, concrete, all of that is hot, but hopefully this shows you to the extreme in which it is and the difference between living, breathing things and the heat they retain and how hot they get versus all the artificial crap that we're putting down in our environment. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.